Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and I was always told I had a voice radio. So today, I think it's time we ranked out the Tag Team GXs. We know that Team Up is being released, next month. It's getting close. I'm a little bit excited. It's going to be out in about 3 weeks as it happens. And we know that we're getting 6 Tag Team GXs in there. So I thought what we should do is go and rank them out. We are not counting the ones we know about from Night Unison. So we're not going to be including Greninja and Zoroark on this list. We are not going to be including Sylveon and Gardevoir on this list. We are just going for the ones in Team Up. So without further ado, let's start off at number 6. And I should mention, a little bit of further ado, there's 6 of these and they've all been winning in Japan. All of this has seen success in Japan. All of them are good cards. So when I say number 6, I don't mean bad. I just mean 6 out of 6. Celebi and Venusaur Tag Team GX. I like Celebi and Venusaur Tag Team GX. It's got 270 HP, Grass Double Colorless, 50 damage, plus Poison, plus Confusion, plus Burn. And then if you get 5 energy on there, 180 damage, and you get to recover your entire discard pile like a one-sided Lysander's trump card, which was so broken it was banned. It is seeing a bit of play with stuff like Life Forest Prism Star and the Shaman from Lost Thunder for a little bit of healing, along with stuff like Crushing Hammer and Spamming Judge to slow your opponent down. It's a good, bulky Pokemon that's got a lot of potential, but also there's a whole bunch of stuff that can one-hit KO it, like Blacephalon, because of weakness, like Gardevoir, and like Latias and Latios Tag Team GX, more on that in a moment. So it's not getting big one-hit KOs, but there's too many things that can one-hit KO it. I think in some meta games it's amazing, but I think it's too vulnerable in some metas, and that's why it comes in at number 6. In at number 5, we've got Evie and Snorlax. Good news, 270 HP, that's huge. Good news, it attacks for colorless energy, that's wonderful. The thing is, the main attack here, for colorless energy, 240 to an evolution Pokemon. That's brilliant. The highest HP we see on evolution Pokemon is Pokemon like Metagross to have 250, so you'll need a choice band to get the odd Pokemon, but the vast majority, as in all but a couple, of evolved Pokemon will be one-hit KO'd. Being colorless energy means you can whack it into pretty much any deck you like, whether that's putting it in with Malamar. I mean, in Japan, it's seen a little bit of success with Kiawe, and it's also been featured in Malamar decks. It is a good card, and I've seen it winning in more than one different deck. My problem is that against basic Pokemon, it only does 120. The GX attack does 210, and with an extra energy, you draw until you got 10 cards in hand. That's really nice, but it's a once per game kind of attack. And even with a choice band, you'll only get some of the Tag Team GXs. 240 is not enough to get them all. So as much as I like this, as good as it is against evolution Pokemon, and as nice as it is to have a colorless energy attack, I cannot trust it against basic decks. So it's got to come in at number 5. In at number 4, Mimikyu and Gengar. Now there is an awful lot to like about Mimikyu and Gengar. For 2 psychic energy, you've got Poltergeist, 50 damage for each trainer card in your opponent's hand. And let's not forget we've got stuff like Lavender Town coming out in Team Up as well, which will allow you to look at your opponent's hand. Generally speaking, this tends to pair really nicely with Garbodor. Garbodor does for a single psychic energy 20 damage for each item card your opponent has in their discard pile. So either they have the trainer cards in their hand and you smash them with Poltergeist, or they bin them so you can't smash them with Poltergeist, and you smash them with Trashalanche. And whichever way round it goes, you're winning here. It is 2 energy, the main attack, but a simple 1-1 Malamar line will fix that quite nicely. And let's face it, with Garbodor, you're going to be playing Ditto anyway. This is wonderful. So why does it not crack the top half? 240 HP and a weakness to Zoroark. Zoroark will get a one-hit KO on this if it's got a full bench, and it doesn't even need something like a choice band. Zoroark is still everywhere. Now, Zoroark gets a little bit weaker with the release of Tag Team GXs, although Zoroark Gardevoir becomes one of the best decks in the format. There's a lot to like about Gengar and Mimikyu. It's a great card, but it's got a bad weakness. Combined with Garbodor, though, expect to see this winning a bunch of tournaments. In at number 3, probably my favourite of them, Latias and Latios. They're definitely in my top 2. Latias and Latios Tag Team GX is just begging to be played with Malamar. 4 energy, water, 2 psychic and a colourless, Buster Purge, 240 damage, discard 3 energy. But then you use Malamar to get the energy back. One of the things I adore about this is that it matches up beautifully with the other Tag Team GXs. You're already getting a one-hit KO on Mimikyu and Gengar and Pikachu and Zekrom without even adding a choice band. Just straight away you get a KO on them. With a choice band, there's only one Tag Team GX you're not getting a one-hit KO on. There's only very, very few Stage 2 GXs that can take this hit. Again, something like Metagross comes to mind, although being a dragon Pokemon, you can actually use Devoured Field here, and you'd be up to 250 getting any non-Tag Team GX. It just hits the numbers beautifully here. Yeah, you've got to drag your Malamar out, and yes, it kind of overkills non-GX decks, but then again, just play Malamar with stuff like Giratina and use Giratina to take out the non-GXs and work it that way. That sounds fine to me, ladies and gentlemen. That sounds fine to me. The fact that it matches up against the other Tag Team GXs is what I really adore about this. And don't sleep on the GX attack. It accelerates 5 basic energy from your discard pile of your Pokemon in any way you like. But with an extra energy, all the Tag Team GXs have an extra effect with extra energy. You get immunity next turn. So if you can have this as a lone Pokemon, it's the only one on the field, use your GX attack, get ready for a Buster Purge, knowing you've got immunity next turn and can KO anything your opponent puts in your way. That sounds nice. That sounds like something we can work with. In at number 2, we've got Pikachu and Zekrom Tag Team GX. And part of the love comes here from the fact that it is a lightning Pokemon. You've got Electro Power to do an extra 30 damage just in case you're not hitting enough. And you've got Thunder Mountain, which reduces your attack cost by 1 lightning energy. And that's crucial here. First attack, free energy, 150 damage. Search for free lightning energy and attach them to one of your Pokemon. And then free energy 200, but 6 energy, 200 to the active, 170 to the bench. Now we're getting Tapu Koko Prism Star here. And Tapu Koko Prism Star, when it's on the bench, you can pop it in the Lost Zone and attach 1 basic lightning from your discard to each of 2 benched Pokemon. And it's really these tricks that make this so good. Because turn 1, first turn of the game, if you've got Pikachu and Zekrom on the bench, Tapu Koko on the bench, and 1 energy in the discard, you can use Tapu Koko for 1 of the energy, attach 1 from your hand, drop a Thunder Mountain, and then you're doing 150 on turn 1 with Tag Bolt ready to go the following turn. It is incredibly powerful. Then, of course, the GX attack is just begging to take 4 prizes in 1 turn. Notice how the damage you do to the bench is exactly the same number as the amount of hit points Tapu Lele has. I'd be willing to bet that's not a coincidence. And if you can spread some damage around early, you could legitimately take 2 Tag Team GXs out and have 6 prizes in 1 turn. It's a little bit over the top good. But it's not number 1. Number 1 is Magikarp and Wailord Tag Team GX. I believe this is the best of the Tag Team GXs. First of all, you've got 300 HP, so you can just use Max Potion and Ace Roller and make a full-on stall deck here. Just making sure your opponent never KOs and you use stuff like Crushing Hammer to get rid of their energy. Wailord has been the gold standard for wall decks in Expanded, but move over Wailord. Here comes Wailord. But you can actually attack with this, and I've seen 2 different builds that have seen success in Japan. The first build uses Naganadel and Quagsire. Naganadel attaches a water energy from your discard to Naganadel. Quagsire then moves it over to the active. Yeah, that's how you get all of this going very, very quickly. And the other build plays Articuno. I mean, they both play Articuno, but the other build really relies on Articuno. That's the new one that does 70 damage and moves 2 energy to the bench for 2 energy. And the ability says that your opponent cannot affect your benched water Pokemon with supporter cards, which means you can use Articuno to attack and move energy to Wailord, while your opponent cannot Guzma Wailord active before you want it. You then combine that with the new Blastoise, that has a great ability, whereby you look at the top 6 cards of your deck, and any water energy you find there, you can attach to your Pokemon in any way you like. You use that to get Articuno going, you attack with Articuno to move the energy back to Magikarp and Wailord, knowing it can't be Guzman early, and then you come in and smash with Magikarp and Wailord. And that's before we even mention the GX attack here. 8 energy, which is a lot, but 10 to the active, 100 to all of the bench. And bearing in mind, Articuno can bring a whole bunch of Pokemon down to 70 HP or less. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I think Magikarp and Wailord is the best. It's a phenomenal wall Pokemon, but there's also at least 2 good options for making it a good attacker. None of these are bad cards. These are all good cards. But I actually feel pretty good. This was a difficult list to make, but I actually feel pretty nice about this 1 to 6 list. But I'm sure there's a bunch of you that disagree with me, in which case head on over to the comment section. Go nuts, but please do remember the most important rule as always. Be nice, would ya? And remember, if you want to quibble with my list, brilliant, please do so. But give me your own list 1 to 6 down in the comments. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all of that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where we talk Transformers and Keyforge and other things that pique my interest. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.